This is episode 1 of responding to baseball hate comments about how to throw hard. I pulled up this Shred Athletics video, Jake Pilarski throwing 101.4 mile per hour in a bullpen. We're gonna watch this and then go to the comments to see what people have to say about it.
Hey, 25 to 30.
25 to 30 pitches. Yeah, that's easy, bro.
Just effortless velo.
Yeah. Let's go. Ah. Yes. Come on, throw 182. Throw 182. 82. Yeah. I knew that was gonna happen. I knew the first one you were gonna throw was gonna be arm side. Get it back across.
That's filthy changeup.
Gross.
One more changeup. Yes, those were beautiful. You got 3 to 4. That's it. I'm not letting you go past 30. So you better find 101 in those 4 pitches. One more. One more. One more.
So I actually worked at Shred Athletics for a little bit as an intern there. They're throwing a velo pen, so it's like one of those days you're trying to see high end velo, like where your top end is at. It allows you to train to get to your highest point, see where that is, and then that way you can settle in at a consistent velo on your days that you're working on locations. So let's scroll down to these comments. I'm sure they're fun. Oh boy, with a coach like that, he's going to have a very short career. So this is pretty funny. Yeah, obviously, like in the video, he's not trying to tell him a bunch of stuff of like what to do. He's saying, all right, just get that there, throw this here. He's not using a lot of big terms. So the reason that is because with motor learning, when you're teaching someone how to do something, sure, when you're teaching a middle school pitcher who throws 65 how to pitch, you're gonna tell him more step-by-step stuff. It's because with motor learning, you actually have 3 main stages of how to actually learn how to do something, a skill: cognitive, associative, and your autonomous skills. So cognitive is like when you're in that beginner stage of learning how to do something. You tell a toddler how to throw a baseball, you show them how you throw it first, they learn a lot from visual learning, then they finally pick it up on their own and start doing stuff. Associative stage is when you are making the biggest growths in your skill set. So like the age between middle school and high school, a kid's gonna get a lot better at how to do a skill set. Like pitching, they pick up more fine motor skills, like how to throw a breaking ball versus a changeup versus a 2-seam fastball or a 4-seam fastball. So you make your biggest jumps there, but then everyone will plateau when you have a certain level of mastery at a skill, and that's where you get to the autonomous stage. Autonomous stage, you don't need to tell these guys how to pitch. You don't need to tell them keep your leg up higher. They can go up there and pretty much know how to get to 95% of their ability without any extra help or focus. What these coaches are here for is the same way that a professional baseball manager is there for. It's not to teach you a new skill, it's to give you a mental focus or mental cue of what to solely focus on this particular pitch. It's not like these big cues have to be said necessarily, it's just a small focus to pour your energy into when you already have that high level of skill. I'm no professional, but seems the guy throws mostly with his arm and not too much with his legs. And then Shred replied, it's not possible to throw over 100 with mostly arm. Yeah, so like in the video, you can tell like the guy looks like he isn't using his legs, so to speak. Using your legs doesn't mean you're squatting down into like this deep hinge position. There's different ways people use their hips. There's different hip anatomies that you can't do certain movements with. But what you can do instead is you can actually rotate against the femur, which is that massive bone connected to the hip. If you rotate against it, you can create internal rotation, like force right there, and that can actually unwind just as much as squatting down and can help you throw hard. So depending on how your hips prefer to load, which there are a lot of ways to do that, you can't throw 100 without using your legs. It just depends on how you use your legs to do that, how you create that force output. It's not really a claim that makes a lot of sense when you understand, anatomy a little bit better. Nice heat, but no movement and no off speed. I'd smash that. What you're seeing in the video in terms of like TrackMan data, it's gonna tell you if it's got good stuff. This guy just got signed by the Dodgers. He does a hundo. He has good off speed, otherwise he wouldn't get signed. I didn't see the movement profile on here because it's not presented, but he's not going to get signed if he doesn't have quality off-speed offerings on TrackMan. Good looking stuff, ... But his throwing stride's not important anymore. Exactly, the location for fastball and off-speed pitches weren't exactly on target. This is very obviously a velocity pin, so that it's just a velo pin. They're trying to go in there and train top end velocity. They're trying to see, okay, what can we get up to with very little adrenaline in a setting like this, see where our top end is at so we can train that top end movement feel. And then when you train that top end movement feel, you can settle into a higher velocity output when you're just kind of coasting, for instance. How exciting. Not. I don't understand. There's 2 likes, that's the funniest part. Oh man. You don't become a better pitcher by just trying to throw as hard as you can. Kids should be pitching into radars. The sliders this guy was throwing were a joke. Up in the zone. Kids need to learn how to pitch. There's a lot more to the great pitchers than just impressing radar guns. The kids thinking you get better by trying to light up a radar gun as if that makes you get better is stupid. Look at Tom House and actually learn the art of pitching. Throwing to a radar gun is actually really effective for understanding feedback loops. Shooting a basketball, if you hit the rim, that's a feedback right there. So you learn how to move more efficiently just by failing and succeeding over and over again until you find a skill set that actually is consistent with what you're trying to get out of it. That's just an example of feedback loop. A radar is a feedback that allows you to understand exactly what happens in the results-based part of it. It's actually pretty good to have a radar gun at a young age, expose it to them so that they kind of know what a 70% effort throw looks like versus a 90% effort throw. Kids do need to learn how to pitch, but at the same time, introducing a kid to a radar gun at a very young age won't make it as much of a stigma of, well, here's a radar gun, let me see how hard I can throw this time because I haven't been on a radar gun my entire life. We don't want that. We want kids to be exposed to it at a young age so that when they have it all the time, they just have an idea of what they're gonna throw consistently at whatever field that is. Dude leads league in hit batters. Threw at his own kid during a father-son game. Man, I love how that's got 98 likes. That's funny. That's hate, but that's funny. Tommy John right around the corner. When guys throw hard, but also have the size, the strength for it, they're gonna have a less likely chance of getting hurt. Also, TJ is less about true amount of throwing hard and rather about volume. And Tommy John is such a big thing now because coaches are really bad at training volume throughout like a high school kid season. So how many high school kids you've known or heard of that will throw their starter 100 pitches day 1, then they'll do it again the next week, the next week, the next week on a 5-day rotation pretty much, or they'll throw them every game. I've heard that so many times. It's because coaches in high school aren't aware of how to build up throwing volume because they don't need to learn how to. They just need to keep their job. So if you're getting results, then they're just gonna keep throwing the kid. And that's when these high school kids that throw hard at a young age will get TJ because they just can't deal with the volume because the coaches aren't helping them get to a point where they can deal with the volume on their tendons and ligaments. Someone please help him finish his fastball and fix that elbow snapback on his fastball before his UCL explodes. He'll gain even more velocity and also finish in a position that'll leave him less likely to be ear-holed by a comebacker. Notice how his changeup has a completely different delivery and finish. Oh man. So what he's referring to here on finish his fastball, it's not actually a very good thing for decreasing UCL stress. Finishing the fastball, that terminology comes from people doing what was called the towel drill, where you get like a towel and you're taught to use the weight of it to pull your arm through and over the top to feel it like be clean. In reality, when we throw a baseball really hard, we're not going straight down over the top. We're actually coming out and around. Here the humerus is actually going to rotate externally and then our hand is going to come out and around and throw, and it should be pretty close to in line with the shoulder. You shouldn't be throwing straight over the top like that. You're getting the elbow forward and through. That's what will put more pressure on the UCL than if the humerus with all these rotator cuff muscles are doing their job for the elbow. Then this is actually how we would make that worse. Yeah, so if you want to hurt your elbow, then sure, pull your elbow through and pull down and see how that works in a few months when you try to throw hard with it. That's how you make your UCL explode. But if you're coming out and around like this, and this is going back, coming out like that, that's actually a very clean pattern that is most likely to decrease UCL stress than pulling through it like the towel drill will teach a lot of people. So this guy's obviously pretty old school. He probably was taught the towel drill at a young age and didn't learn how to throw any harder than 75. If you'd like me to do more of these responding to baseball hate comments, leave a like, share it, send to people. Let's make sure that the baseball community is less ignorant about what's going on in the baseball development culture.